Hey everyone, welcome into the Flippin Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star. If you're new here or you have not already, please subscribe to the channel and help us feed a hungry hippo. Today we're going to be taking a look at Plush that sold on eBay for the entire summer of 2023. If you didn't watch my jeans that sold in the summer of 2023 video, I'll have that pop up in the corner for you and fill you in just a little bit in case you aren't aware of the news. I didn't post a what sold video on this channel or any video really since June. I went to List Perfectly's camp, which was an in-person reselling event in June, and I went to FlipCon in August. In between the two events, I was in the hospital for 2 weeks, and then my son visited for 2 weeks. So I was just kind of, overall, life was happening, and I was on a hiatus from YouTube. I wanted to kind of catch up. I do like to do these what sold videos, so I decided to just do a summer series of what sold. While I tend to only show you highlights when it comes to weekly what sold videos or jeans or any other platform, I really like plushies. They are my absolute favorite thing to sell, to source, to take pictures of, to list, to talk about, to teach about, to write guides about. I just love plushies. So if you didn't notice all those tabs open on the top there, I did pull up each and every single plush sale from the summer. But only from eBay though, because that makes a difference. We'll get to the plush sales on other platforms in later videos. Today we're just looking at eBay. Of course, eBay also only goes back for 3 months. So it only went back to June 15th was the first plush sale I had that I could pull up. So we're going to look at my list perfectly at the end and show you basically the first 2 weeks of June sales of plush. There's so many tabs here. I'm going to be closing them as I go, just to make room at the top where I can actually see what I'm doing. But let's just jump right in, okay? We sold a Great American Cookies Cookie Man. This is a super cute like mascot. Does anybody remember Great American Cookies from the mall? Am I aging myself? He sold for a best offer of $10.71. He came in a wholesale lot. Next up, we have Animal Alley Toys R Us. This is a bunny rabbit from Toys R Us. If you ever see this tag, Animal Alley, it is a Toys R Us brand. And Toys R Us is out of business now, so I always pick these up when I find them. The rabbit had a hole, or it would have sold for a lot more. I probably would have listed it more towards 35 to 40. This was up for like right around 24 with shipping. But I did take into account that its bow had some damage and the rabbit had a hole. But it still sold for best offer, $15 plus $6 shipping. And this one came, I want to say, out of a wholesale lot. Buzz here came out of a wholesale lot. So when I tell you guys I get things out of wholesale lots, I purchase from American Thrift Supply. I get big Gaylords of plush from them. I did try a Goodwill Blue Box. That was no bueno. I got a bunch of Beanie Babies. And I have a friend who I pay to source for me. So usually our cost of goods with wholesale plush is about $1.15 to $2 on the high end per piece. When I find them in the wild, I usually pay like 50 cents to $2. Sometimes I'll pay a little bit more. I just sold the plush last week for like $60 that I paid $5 for. But for the most part, we're looking at under $1 or, just over $1 for most of these. So this is Buzz. He also had some damage. He had some discoloring on his helmet and his hands. And I just disclose all of this stuff, guys. Whenever I have a plush that has anything wrong with it, typically I'll still list it and just let them know what's wrong, unless it's like a real poop plush that's not worth it. This sold for $15.99 on a best offer. And you're going to see a mix in here of some stuff that's free ship and some stuff we charged shipping on. because we did the switch over to charging shipping in August when I got back from FlipCon. So if I just give you a price, that means it was free shipping. If I add the price of shipping in when I'm talking, obviously we charge shipping. This is a peep. I love finding these peeps. There are bigger peeps that are really tall, like 2 feet tall, and they weigh over a pound. And those will sell for like 20 to 30 bucks. These little tiny ones, not so much. You know, this one sold for $5 plus 6 shipping. So like 11. I still grab these guys when I find them. A Build-A-Bear black cat. This is a 12-inch Believe in Meowgic cat with a Believe in Meowgic shirt. Missing its tag on the shirt, and on its tushy. Other than that, it's really in good shape and just super cute. I mean, this is probably one of the cutest little Build-A-Bears I've ever seen. This little black cat. She's so cute. So she was from Wholesale Lot, and she sold for $16 on a best offer plus $6 shipping. Barney. This is a vintage Barney from the 90s. From the Lions brand. He came from a lot. Most of my plush these days do actually come from Wholesale Lots. The Goodwill store that used to put them out for 50 cents no longer does that. And most of them that I find in the wild are way overpriced. So the majority of my plush do come from wholesales. Barney here sold for $10 plus $6 shipping. This is a Bunnies by the Bay best friend Freddie Fox Lovey. Y'all know I talk about Loveys. Loveys are bolos. If you're not familiar with a Lovey, it's typically a little square, like 12 by 12, security blanket with a plush animal or doll head in the center. This one was different than I've ever seen before. The Lovey part, the blanket, was not a square. It had 2 pieces that came off the front and the back of the fox, or the sides of him. So he looks like a bow tie noodle. But he did have best friend Freddie embroidered on him, and that's the tag. I would absolutely tell you that this is a Bolo brand for Loveys, Bunnies by the Bay, and he is just really cute. I did take a best offer of $28 for him, and then they paid $6 in shipping as well. Tigger here actually was one of my finds from long ago and far away, so I did pay 50 cents for him, and he's been around for some years. Plush is very long tail, by the way, if I haven't told you that recently. Plush is very long tail. This Tigger sold for $10 on a best offer, free shipping. Just was really, really ready for him to go. Goodbye, Tigger. I hope you like your new forever home. Next up, we have a Build-A-Bear Disney Princess. She has a little tiara on that says Disney Princess. She is supposed to light up. Mine does not. It's not that it's defective, because I know you guys are going to come at me and go, but you didn't disclose that. You said you disclose all damage in your listings. Mine didn't have the doohickey. So a lot of the Build-A-Bear Disney Princesses with these little tiaras, you can feel a hard piece inside the tiara, which is what will light up. Mine was all soft. It didn't even have the hard piece. So apparently whoever built this at Build-A-Bear did not put that piece in. But mine did have the princesses on the feet. Really super cute. Sold for $19.99. Came from a wholesale lot, by the way. This is a vintage pound puppy, 7-inch. Wholesale lot. I should probably just tell you just to assume that they're all from wholesale lots from now on, unless I say otherwise. That way I don't have to keep repeating that on every listing. I accepted $10.79 on this little pound puppy. If you find the big pound puppies, they're actually really worth it. They'll sell for like $20 and up. This is a vintage Disney Store Winnie the Pooh musical wind-up. He moves around. It's so cute. He's got one of those old-fashioned plastic windies on the side, and when you wind him up, he plays a lullaby, and he kind of like moves around and makes little like bear sleeping noises. Super cute. This is one of my favorite plushies that I sold over the summer. I really had a lot of fun testing him and playing with him before I listed him. I did take a best offer of $38 on him. A Fiesta Blue Tyrannosaurus Rex. I do enjoy the Fiesta plush. They're just mid-grade bread and butter. But I always like to sell the Fiestas. They have some fun plushies. The dinosaur sold for $13.49 on a best offer. Next up, we have a small Chase. He's only a 5-inch police dog, Chase from Paw Patrol. I always tell everybody, if you find the Paw Patrols, pick them up. But if you're not okay with low-end bread and butter or filler items in your store, make sure you're getting the bigger Paw Patrol plushies and make sure you're getting the more obscure characters. Chase and Marshall, the fire dog, are like the most common. They're kind of oversaturated and they're not worth as much as some of the more rare characters. And obviously, when you get into bigger plush, they're going to go for more money. Chase went for $8. He was also a 50-cent find at Goodwill. There was a couple years ago, the whole cart was full of little Chases and little Marshalls that I brought home. All right, I'm going to say this wrong, and y'all can correct me in the comments. I always say Lacoste. Is it Lacoste? Lacoste? Correct me, because I say Lacoste. This is a Lacoste Parfum teddy bear. He's really cute, too. Not as much as my favorite is that black cat and the poo. But this guy was really cute. He had the Lacoste alligator on his foot. And then he had little armbands and little sweatbands on it. He was just so cute. I couldn't stand him. Cute, cute, cute. I did take a best offer for $15.99 on him. Build-A-Bear Disney Shake It Up Bunny Rabbit. So this guy, when I was taking all the plush out of the box, they came in wholesale. I had found this necklace in the box and it was all tangled up and like knotted, and I was not familiar with what Shake It Up was. I threw it away. The next day I found this rabbit and I'm like, oh, I bet that went with him. But it was like a faux gold chain and it was all knotted. It probably would have taken me a very long time to fix the necklace, and I don't know that it would have really added too much more value to him. Apparently Shake It Up is some Disney show. If you know, you can let me know. But the rabbit's cute. It's got a heart nose. It's got 2 pink eyelashes. I would get it again if I saw it in the wild. Sold for $17.99. This is a Gaffa monkey. So I like Gaffas. I do. It's one of those brands that some people will tell you are poop. I think it's bread and butter. And I've had some Gaffas that went for actually like a lot of money. Just big giant ones. I've had Gaffa snakes that were like 3 feet long. I had 2 of them I found at a yard sale one year. And they sold for like $30 and $40. So it's kind of like, it's not always about the brand. It's with, with clothes. Like sometimes the poop or the generic brands of jeans, if they're plus size, they're going to sell for a lot of money and they'll move quickly. And the same thing goes with plush. When you find the jumbo plush or the really large plush, you can charge a lot of money for them, regardless of the brand. Anyway, I do like Gaffa. I look for them intentionally out in the wild. If I'm at sales where plush are affordable, I enjoy when they come to me in lots. They sell pretty well. They have a good sell-through rate as far as plush goes. They're not going to sell fast, guys. Plush just doesn't. So he sold for $11.99. A Valentine's Day generic bear, just to show you, you could have a bear that's generic, and with good keywords. I mean, this is a small guy, too. Sold him for $14. Valentine's Day teddy bear. Good pictures. This is a vintage 1980 Terra Toy Bedtime Bear storybook. Came with its little plush book. This plush is actually one of the ones I got for free. If you're a longtime viewer, you may remember probably about a year and a half ago. We had purchased a wholesale lot of clothing from someone down in Florida, and they threw in a bunch of plush for free because they knew who I was and they knew I love plush. And we just got a ton of plush for free thrown in with it. This is one of those. And actually, when I was sorting through these, I had set this little book aside because I didn't know what it was, and it almost went into the trash, much like that necklace I mentioned. But then I found the bear, and I'm like, oh, it's this little book. Isn't he cute? He's got a little book. He's got a little story. Oh my gosh. Plushies are my favorite. They're so cute. Okay, so this guy had some yellowing. He had some aging, or he actually would have gone, or she, her name's Tara. She would have gone for a lot more. Like when I comped her, people were selling her for more. But I felt like, you have to adjust your prices when you have some damage or yours is older looking. The eyes left something to be desired as well. So I took a best offer of $17.99. A Cloud Island unicorn lovey. So here's the more traditional lovey. If you're not familiar, they're usually just a square. And then it has the plush unicorn head in the middle. This sold for $10.49. Cloud Island's one of those bread and butter brands. This is an Animal Adventure Splish Splashers crab. So there were a bunch of these. I think they used to sell them at Walmart. It's Animal Adventure. I think my kids had some when they were little. They were just little animals that you could take in the swimming pool or the bath. Hopefully the swimming pool more than the bathtub because they make a mess. But they soak up the water and you can throw them and have like water fights with them. Sold for $13.49. That one actually came out of a lot that I purchased at a thrift store, not one of the ones I ordered to my door. I had bought a bag of plush at a thrift store in Florida last year, and that crab was one of them. It came out to like 25 cents a piece. This is Disney Build-A-Bear Finding Dory. I love when I find Dory. I love when I find Build-A-Bears of, popular pop culture licensed characters. She sold for $22.49. She's waving. Hi, guys. This is a Kohl's Cares Dr. Seuss Put Me in the Zoo. Kohl's Cares makes a lot of plushies from children's books, and they make a lot of Dr. Seuss. I like Kohl's Cares. I think it's solid bread and butter. This guy sold for $18.74. I do need to grab a drink real quick. Warner Brothers Looney Tunes Daffy Duck, $12.24. So he's one of those oversaturated characters. Obviously, with anything, characters that are oversaturated aren't going to be worth as much as ones that are harder to find, right? Toy Factory, very, very generic. Very generic brand. I like it. I mean, this guy sold for $20. Some of the Toy Factory's more rare animals will sell for $20 and more. The bigger ones, absolutely. If I see it, if I get it in a lot, I'm listing it. I don't care. You may want to comp them before you buy them if you don't like filler, because you can end up with some Toy Factories that are like $12. But this guy did sell for $20. There's a red version of him too, by the way. Gans Webkins, hit or miss, and I have never, ever been able to figure out if whether or not the animal has its code matters. I've had some of these with no code sell for $40 and $50, and I've had some of them with their sealed code comp at $10 and $12. I think it depends on which one you have. So with Webkins, you always want to put whether or not you have the code in the title, and they have these little numbers on their tags. You always want to include those, and it'll usually tell you black bear, elephant, yellow lion. Whatever it says on the tag, you want to use in your title, and then you want to put the number in as well. That's for the collectors. This sold for $11.99. Jellycat Retired Orlando Owl. That is his name. His name is Orlando. I comped him and found that out. Jellycat's a bolo. You guys all know that. Although this one sold for $15.99 on a best offer. I feel like Jellycat's not worth what it used to be. I recently, like around Easter time, I listed some Jellycat rabbits and they didn't comp as high as I had hoped they would. Whereas 6-7 years ago, you could sell a Jellycat for $50 and $60. That's a prime example of why you should not race to the bottom. Here we have a Gund teddy bear. I sold it for $15 on a best offer. Gund is a pretty solid brand. Neopets. This is a McDonald's promo. I took a best offer of $11.99. Neopets are a bolo. The McDonald's Happy Meals toys, solid bread and butter. That was 50 cents, by the way. I picked that up at Goodwill. Here's a penguin hand puppet from Oriental Trading Company, and I hear they're still around. Penguin sold for $9.99 on a best offer. The Ron Banafanto monkey hand puppet sold for $15. So there was this one wholesale lot, like the whole bottom level was puppets. All kinds of puppets. Brand name puppets that were worth a lot of money. Generic puppets like that penguin that had no brand. But there were a lot of puppets in there. I remember like working on puppets for 2 days. Lots of puppets. This is a Ron Banafanto puppet. I opened this one live with Robert. That was the last Gaylord box I opened live on this channel. I think it was in June. And I said the whole thing was poop. And I was so mad at the box. But when I actually started digging down into it, there were all these puppets. There was some good stuff in there. A vintage Teletubby. This is Poe. No, I'm not that familiar with the Teletubbies. Whenever I get them, I have to comp them. Actually, I Google Lens them to find out their names. You can do that with List Perfectly with one click, by the way. He sold for $11.99. Best offer. And the rest of these all sold at asking price because that's the end of my best offer list I made. So the golden seal here, his name is Samuel. He's from the Goldwyn Company. I'm not familiar with what the Goldwyn Company is, but it must be some company that made these golden seals. Plushies is like a mascot, I want to say. Swag. He sold for $19.99. Hallmark teddy bear. We had 2 of these. One has sold for a whopping $6.01 plus $5.99 shipping. She's cute though. All right, next up we have a Cincy Buddy. Sold for $7.91 plus 6 shipping. So about $14. Some of the Cincy Buddies I can get out of the door for $18 to $20. Some of them not so much. I don't know if it depends on the animal. A Pokemon. This came out of a wholesale lot from a couple of years back that I also opened with Robert live on the channel. We got those mystery boxes, and the one set had all the Pokemons and was really great, and the other set was the one that had the poop cheese in it where the poop came out, and Robert and I died laughing, if you remember that. It was a long time ago. Anyway, this is Sableye. He sold for $16.66 plus $5.99 shipping, so about $22, $23. This is a Fiesta. Remember I said I like them, but this one's real tiny, you know, so sold for $5.26 plus 6 shipping. I like narwhals. Narwhals sell pretty fast. They're unicorn whales, right? Speaking of unicorns, here's Fluffy from Despicable Me. Sold for $12.24. Baby Gund. I always tell people to look for any animals that say baby, infant, or anything like that. They do well. And you can, if you have room in the title, also use the word or the term lovey. This sold for $12.24. This is an official Walt Disney Baby New Year and Donald. Mickey Mouse and Donald is what I meant to say. Sold for $19.99. Here's another Gans. This one also did not have a code. Sold for $10.49. I have like 12 of these frogs. Oh, they're all in the same bin too. So one sells. When one sells, I really have to dig and make sure I get the right one. Here's another Gans Webkins. This is a monkey, no code, $10.49. A Beanie Boo. This is a teeny tie. Paw Patrol. So this is a rare character, an example of a rare character like I was talking about before. But because this is a tie and it's real small, it's a teeny tie, you know, it sold for $11.99. But I had a big Everest at one point that sold for a lot more. So look for those obscure characters. This is a vintage Russ. This is only an 8-inch. It's not that big, but it is vintage. Here's what the tag looks like. Charisma the Unicorn. And she did sell for $24.99. The Bear Factory. So the Bear Factory is kind of like Build-A-Bear. Not as popular, not as well known. But anything I find from the Bear Factory, I always source. And I love when I get it in boxes. This is Rambo the Ram. He sold for $24.99. Here's a generic teddy bear. So again, you can sell anything if you have a good title, good keywords, and good photos. I mean, this is literally like a 7-inch bear with no brand. Greenbrier, which I think is Target or Walmart. This is Chuckle Buddies. This is a cow. He rolls and laughs around. He was a lot of fun to test too. I was up here dying laughing, snorting and crying. I love test my electronic plush day. So what I normally do is if they are electronic or talking or singing plush, I put them in a bin. And when the bin fills up, I get to spend one afternoon in here with a screwdriver and some batteries and test all my animals. It's always such a good time because they sing and they dance and they do fun stuff. I just tested some last week. I have some footage for Instagram, by the way, of that. We're flipping hippos over there. Follow us. Gans Heritage Collection. That's what the tag looks like. This is Brendan. Brendan sold for $17.51 plus $6 shipping. So Brendan's a bolo, especially if he's like $1 or less, right? Hershey's Cadbury Easter Bunny. When I comped this rabbit, there were so many and so many different shades. Light brown, tan, black, dark brown. I just kind of priced mine somewhere, and it did sell for $11.30 plus $6 shipping. Poop. Don't source these. These are Hard Rock Cafe Baltimore Bear. I still have so many of these left from a dumb purchase I made. Well, it wasn't a dumb purchase. Really, really long time viewers may remember the yard sale from 2017 or 2018 where the guy had all this plush on his lawn, and it turned out that his kid and his whole soccer team or football team, some sports ball team, they were holding this yard sale to raise money for their team, and they had all donated, and there was just this entire huge lawn covered in plush. And there were Disney, and there were Build-A-Bear, and there were Boyd's Bears, and there were Hard Rock Cafe, and I got a really good deal. It filled up like a whole refrigerator box of plush, plus some. Our trunk was full, our back seat was full, and the guy let me buy them all at like one price, and it came out to under $1 a plush. The Disney plush were worth it alone. The Boyd's Bears were pretty good. Build-A-Bears were great. These guys, I still have so many of them left. But back then we were still learning, and we listed everything we sourced, and they're still selling. I mean, they sold for $12. It's just that it took that long to sell. So I would not personally source these anymore. That's the last of that. So let's go over here to the List Perfectly, which I have sorted, I'm going to mark that so I can come back. I've sorted it to search for anything with plush in the title, marked sold on eBay. And then I can sort by the date I marked them sold. And you did see the Teletubby. So what you did not see, because eBay does cut off after 3 months, is the Kelly Toy Zebra, $18. Curious George, $18. I don't know that this is exactly what they sold for at this point. It's been so long. $12. And this was something I just listed because it came in a wholesale lot. Like, it really was, its bow was frayed. It had no tags. I mean, this bear was sad. Look at his bow. But you know, I got to get every penny I can out of these household purchases. Here's another Scentsy buddy. This is Ollie the elephant. He started his life at $20. A Wild Republic hummingbird, $16. Here is Zuma, the puppy dog from Paw Patrol, $15. A red M&M for $14. Don't get red M&Ms. Any color but red. Build-A-Bear plain teddy bear, $18. And this is really cute. And Ann Getty's white rabbit baby doll. She's really cute. Check her out. I had a couple of these in different costumes. I really like getting Ann Getty's. She started her life at 16. So, hey, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, let me know down in the comments below. And remember that my plush guide is on sale, 50% off right now. No code needed. Just click the link in the description box and join me in my Facebook group, Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod. Go be productive. Go make some money. And as always, thank you so much for watching. This was a long one, so I really appreciate you watching the whole thing. Bye, guys.